How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. As always, if you enjoy the video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. It helps out, means a ton. You guys get plenty of fun stuff, not just Jujutsu Kaisen. We cover plenty of manga on the channel, so stick around, check it out, see if anything else catches your interest. But with that being said, we got to get into the chapter today because we got 177 of Jujutsu Kaisen, and it was absolutely phenomenal. Turns out Reggie actually can use the simple domain. Megumi's domain expansion was incomplete. We learn a little bit more about the inner workings of domains and curse techniques and how they mix together to make a domain expansion. We learned a little bit more about Megumi's curse technique, the 10 shadows, on kind of the back end, but we'll talk about that when we get there. Yeah, this is awesome. And, well, obviously we got some good JJK action. So, yeah, getting into it, we have Megumi using the Chimera Shadow Garden, and we expect this to just basically be immediate game over. I had the thumbnail of last chapter just say checkmate on it. Well, turns out, like I said, Reggie can use simple domains. This causes a little bit of a problem, or at least he thought so, and at least we thought so, but apparently Megumi didn't think so, and apparently Megumi was right. So yeah, the reason a simple domain didn't really do a whole lot for Reggie here is because of the fact that Megumi's domain is incomplete. Now, I said this last time, I thought it was incomplete, and it is pretty much for the reasons why I thought it was incomplete. It's the fact that Megumi is not creating a barrier himself. That is part of a domain expansion, creating the barrier. He's simply using the gymnasium as a man-made, as an artificial barrier. That still provides the same effect of trapping someone inside because, well, they get to the edge and it's just a wall. They literally just can't, it's brick. Like, you just can't go through it. But it doesn't provide the same effect as an actual domains barrier created by a user of the domain expansion, because those barriers actually guarantee the hit from the curse technique. Without the barrier, you're just in a big pool of your enemy's curse technique. Still very dangerous because, I mean, it's literally surrounding you. But you are not guaranteed to get hit because you are not trapped by the barrier itself. So this is why using a physical barrier is actually really kind of an interesting scenario you get into, because you get one of the helpful aspects of a barrier, trapping people, but you don't get the other aspect that really changes how a domain works, which is that guaranteed hit. This is also why simple domains cancel out that guaranteed hit, because a simple domain disrupts and neutralizes the domain aspect of a domain expansion, or the barrier aspect. I apologize. Barrier, domain expansion, curse technique. Got a lot of stuff working together to make one of these things. Okay, so yeah, simple domain deactivates, neutralizes the barrier. That barrier is what guarantees the hit. So neutralizing that gets rid of the guaranteed hit effect, which is something that everybody looks at a domain and goes, that's scary. Well, turns out that's not the only thing that you really got to worry about, and that's not the only helpful part of a domain expansion. It's not just that you get a guaranteed hit, but your curse technique, its capacity is gone into absolute overdrive. It is increased by 120%. Now, that's not 100% your normal 100% with 20 on top. No, that is 120 extra percent. That is over doubling the capacity of your curse technique. That is absolutely wild. So that's all Megumi is getting right now. He's getting, yes, the trapping effect, but that's not from his domain expansion. His domain expansion is only amplifying his curse technique. So this is why Reggie's simple domain, Hollow Wicker Basket, really didn't do much for him in this instant, is because a simple domain is used to neutralize the barrier. There was no barrier to neutralize. Now, we brought up Jogo and Hanami versus Gojo in the Shibuya incident, and Jogo and Hanami used domain amplification to try and get past the limitless curse technique because, you know, it just stops people from hitting you, so you kind of have to get past it. But yeah, the reason we brought this up is because domain amplifications work to counteract curse techniques. This would have been much more useful in this instance because that's all Reggie is actually dealing with right now. So a simple domain counteracts a barrier, domain amplification counteracts a curse technique. So yeah, there's the distinction. It's starting to get a little confusing how all of this works together, but I love it. When you really delve in, you can follow it and chart it all out, but Just from the offset, you might have to read it twice or go get some old information. I love this power system. Cursed Energy is becoming so good as just a power system by itself. I love it. Anyway, moving on with the actual fight. Yeah, this pretty much means that, yeah, Reggie is at a huge disadvantage at this point. He's just facing Megami on overdrive, and Megami is making that very apparent because he basically gets to do whatever he wants. So yeah, a few frogs go out and grab Reggie's ankles to snare him down. He's kind of surprised by this because he put up the simple domain, thought that was going to counteract the domain's guaranteed hit effect, didn't really understand exactly what was going on. It's okay, it happens to the best of us, Reggie, don't worry about it. Megami, having a little bit more confidence at this point, yeah, starts absolutely demolishing this man. I mean, he is beating his ass wholesale. I don't know how else to put it. He is just, oh my god. So yeah, he's got shadow clones, okay, and he is just jumping this man by himself. Me, myself, and I here are gonna jump the shit out of you. Sorry, I don't know how else to put it. So yeah, he's beating him down. Reggie, to have some credit, takes his beating pretty well and isn't even completely done after it. So yeah, Megami's beating the crap out of him. At one point, Reggie gets hit back and he summons some knives from some contracts, cuts off the tongues that were wrapped around his ankles, making it even more difficult for him to fight, gets his footing, well, the shadow right underneath him, even though it's technically shadows all underneath him, but either way, it doesn't matter. His shadow specifically, Megami reaches a hand out of that, jumps out of it, grabs him by the foot, swings him around, while other Megami with the sword goes straight baseball swing and tries... Okay, Megami literally was about to full force swing a man into himself while trying to slice the man's head off while he comes at him. That was some brutal shit Megami just tried to do. Let's be entirely honest, okay? He literally tried to swing a man into a sword that he was also swinging himself. That was wild, and I love it. Unfortunately, Reggie is able to block this. He then gets immediately elbowed by other Megami in the face. Megami then swings the blade at him again, knocking him back, and before he can go in for another attack, Reggie throws up some bigger looking receipts, some probably more expensive receipts. Turns out Reggie figured out something about Megami's technique that we didn't know. Apparently, anything that Megami carries with him, like the swords that he can just draw out of the shadows, yeah, he's carrying them with him in his shadows, and he still has to carry that weight. They don't just go into the ether, never to be heard or seen from again unless he wants them. No, they are still things that exist, and they still exist basically on his person. So, considering this domain is nothing but Megami's shadows, anything within this domain, Megami also bears that weight. So, Reggie, assuming this and or something else, but was right on this assumption, summons 3 cars. And literally just the weight of these cars and a bunch of water. I don't know where the water came from. Anyway, yeah. 3 cars land in here, and Megami is now supporting the weight of 3 cars, a bunch of water, himself, his sword, Reggie, a bunch of stuff. This is heavy, and Megami is now being weighed down to the point where he can't move. Reggie thinks this is game over, and yeah, he mentioned that everything below are your shadows, correct? This is, well, partially right. Megami goes on to correct him, and he's like, man, you are still not getting it, are you? Even if it's incomplete, a domain is still a domain. There are shadows above you, too. And Max Elephant comes crashing down from the ceiling, bonking Reggie on the head. And yeah, we are now in a battle of willpower because this didn't even knock Reggie out either. Seriously, Reggie is impressive. I love this. You literally have Megami holding up 3 cars, and you have Reggie holding up Max Elephant, and basically whoever's legs give out first is the loser. This is great. I also love that it came down to Max Elephant falling on top of Reggie to possibly determine Megami as the winner, because Reggie even mentioned that if Megami is to summon Max Elephant right now and flood this place with water, I'm gonna lose. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. Might still come true, not the way Reggie was necessarily expecting or fearing, but yeah, this is going to be interesting. Honestly, I have to give this to Megami at this point. It's Megami. Do you really think Megami's going to lose to Reggie? Do you really think when it comes down to, all right, who's going to last longer? You think Megami's going to lose to Reggie? Come on. Not going to happen. Megami's got this. This chapter was dope. I love going in more into domain expansions and the makeup of them and the behind the scenes stuff. I absolutely love it. Cursed energy, wonderful power system, getting better and better as time goes on. Love it. Love the chapter. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys next time. I'm out.